Hello, everyone. Today, we are joined by Emily Savino, CEP. She's the head of Industry Relationships and Thought Leadership, Fidelity Stock Plan Services. And Emily is a frequent speaker at equity compensation events and a past president of the Silicone Valley Chapter of the NASPP and a member of NASPP and GEO and NCEO as well. So welcome, Emily, and thanks for coming to our Learn from the Leaders series today, and we're really pleased to have you. We're going to talk a little bit about the ABCs of Equity Award Choice Plans. So maybe we should start with, you've called this the ABCs of Equity Award Choice. So what is the A all about? Let's start at the beginning.
All right. Well, thank you, Fess, and thanks so much for having me today. I'm really pleased to be here and share some of my thoughts around Equity Award Choice Plans. And before we really get into the A, I do want to spend just a moment thinking about choice. And to be honest, I always ask people, who doesn't love a choice? You know, would you go to a restaurant that only served one menu item? The last time you went to a store, did they only have one pair of pants or one pair of shoes? You know, we love choice. We love our ability to select items that work for us. Now, historically, most plan sponsors have not necessarily embraced choice with respect to equity award plans. So today, what we're talking about is the idea of giving employees a choice in the composition of their equity or their long-term incentives. So I've broken this into three areas, as you mentioned. We're going to start with A. I like to think of these as ABCs. I think that's an easy way to progress through. And when I think about the A, this is really the first step of understanding equity award choices, and this is all about awareness, to really, ground yourselves in the basics of not only what an equity award choice is, but, who else is doing it and who gets to make a choice. So first of all, let's talk about the what. So as I mentioned, most plan sponsors really use a primary vehicle, either restricted stock units or stock options, to deliver a target value to their plan participants. So companies will often actually have a mix of vehicles for a small subset of employees. Often that's for the executives. But really the majority of their equity plans, the majority of the value that they deliver is delivered through a single vehicle, either stock options or restricted stock. So this idea of an equity award choice plan pivots off of what I would call sort of the standard path that most plan sponsors are on. And this is an arrangement where participants or a subset of participants are allowed to really select the composition of their equity awards. So usually the selection is all stock options, all restricted stock, or it could be a mix of the two. Often it's a mix of the two, actually. Now, because the fair value of options is different than the value of restricted stock, we're not talking about equal numbers. So an employee would not get to choose 100 stock options or 100 restricted stock units, because it would be pretty obvious what they would select in that arrangement. So usually companies are using a Black-Scholes estimate to value the stock options and creating a ratio. So if the Black-Scholes value of a stock option is approximately a third of the value of a restricted stock unit, then the ratio would be something like 3,000 stock options or 1,000 restricted stock units. Or for employees who wanted to mix and match, they could pick 1,500 stock options and 500 restricted stock units. So some plans might allow for other allocations, but in general, the combination is always going to have the same fair value at the time of grant. Now, it's always possible to include cash as a choice in an equity award choice plan, but cash alternatives, well, they just don't carry the same sort of benefits of employee ownership and a connection to the stock price, and cash payouts are going to impact a company's cash flow. So most often where we've seen equity award choice plans, cash is not part of that mix. Now the second part of the awareness category here is really who.